You know, how many people have been to Athens Bar Show before? Nathan, I need your glasses. I can't see just for a second. Okay, you show me again? Hey, okay. For sure I need glasses. Thank you, everybody. You know, we missed a little bit. For those who have attended sessions in this room before, where's Kenji? Where's that big vibe energy from Kenji? Is he here? No. Okay, let's get awkward. Just remove that. Edit that part out. Thank you. The session today is not about me. It's about our four incredible speakers today. We have a program called Mob of Mentors. Before we get into the specifics on that, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Lauren Moat. I'm the Global Director of On-Trade for Patron Tequila, part of the Bacardi family. Give it up for Bacardi! Now, very important because this is a very interactive session. It's timed, it's high energy. Every single person that presents today gets a standing ovation, no matter what, with lots of noise from your little maracas. And a little bit of that vibe from Mexico, from our home of Patron. And also, you all have a bandana. You can wear it. You see many different styles, ascots, little scarves. You're wearing a very nice, I'd like you to stand up and show everyone the way you So it's very, very nice. If you need some help tying it, I'm actually very good at tying ascots, so I can see you afterwards. But you'll need it because you need to fling it around, right? You're making noise, you're flinging it around, you're cheering, standing ovation. That's the most important part of this high energy session. Lots of familiar faces in the room. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let's get on with it. So, we started doing mentorship sessions, well, since we were born. Everyone has been mentored by a parent, by a friend, by perhaps a spouse, a partner, a business partner, a friend. The most important thing is about how we transfer and pay forward that mentorship. We just call it friendship. It's teaching people about the things that make you special, the expertise that you're passionate about, and you share that forward. And it's up to the person receiving that information to take what they need from it, it's a bit of an a la carte menu, and apply it in their own world. We do this through a session called Pecha Kucha. Pecha Kucha is it's a quick-fire, concise way of delivering information, started over 20 years ago by two Japanese engineers that wanted to take the blah, blah, blah. They wanted to take the long, drawn-out, hard-to-get-to information in a seminar and just get to the facts in a fun, energetic, and concise way. So we do this in 6 minutes and 40 seconds, 20 slides. Each slide has a timer. It changes automatically after 20 seconds. We've got 4 speakers. We've allocated 7 minutes, well, 6 minutes and 40 seconds, not 7, but an extra 20 seconds at the end where they can bow, curtsy, jump for joy, have a drink, have a shot, whatever it is, and then we move on to the next speaker. Everyone with me so far? And how do you say it again? It's a Pecha Kucha, right? Say it again? Okay, you got it. We're going to talk about the evolution in the industry and why it matters. This is our evolution here with Mob of Mentors. We started in 2022, right in this room, with Monica Berg, who's just on the stage before us, and Agua Perone, two very well-known bartenders. I'm sure you have met them or know of them. And we did a session called Dial M for Mentor. Then we took this to Tales of the Cocktail. We've had multiple speakers every year, and here we are again at Mob of Mentors. So I've already told you how Mob of Mentors works and the Pecha Kucha. So just putting up the social information here. But this was really important. If we were going to say, what did you learn today? Do you have a question? Do you want to follow up with an individual mentor? Do you just have questions about how you can do this, maybe in your own city, as a way of delivering information? Send us a message. Ask Mom. Mom of Mentors, see what you did there? For those that have mom issues, it's all good. It's Mob of Mentors, not necessarily mother. mobofmentors@gmail.com. Send us a message, and we'll put you in touch with the right person. Big thanks to Academy of Patron, Freeport, and of course Athens Bar Show, and Babas for allowing us to take the stage today. So we're going to jump right in. So I'm your host. I'm just up there on the left having a sniff of my favorite bottle of Patron Reposado tequila. And here is this year's Mob. We're going to introduce each of them as they come up very quickly, because I don't want to take away from their actual presentation. But on the screen we have Nathan Price, who is the owner of Bar Blue in Liverpool. Give it up for Nathan. He also won our Patron Perfectionist Global Final. We have the amazing Anna Sebastian, a consultant for some of the best hotel bars in the world, and also the founder of Celebrate in Terror, based in London. We have the Cocktail Panda. We have Ian McPherson, who's the owner of multiple places, including Panda and Sons in Edinburgh, and he was named this year the bartender from the World's 50 Best. And then last but certainly not least, we have Caitlin Wilkes, who is the co-founder of the Ada Coleman Project and a consultant based in Edinburgh. Well, Nathan, I think you know what the next slide is. All right. Now, can we just do one rehearsal of your standing ovation, making noise and flipping your bandanas around? It's so important when this timer starts and you hear this. At the end, everyone's got to get up, make as much noise as possible. Every single person deserves a standing ovation. They're giving us their time and expertise today, and they're doing it in a very speedy fashion that we don't wish upon anyone, but they're all amazing, and you're going to get it done. Okay. Now, enough for me. Nathan, come to the stage, please. We're going to turn his mic on.
Hello. There we go.
Okay.
All good.
Now, James is our timekeeper. Now, don't do anything too quick. Don't do anything too quick. Did everyone do the rehearsal and show how they were going to do the standing ovation? Let's go. Make some noise. Make some noise. Hey! Wow. You guys are naturals. This is going to be a breeze. Nathan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we are going to set the clock to 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Remember, when I hit the right arrow, it's going to go, and it won't stop.
Let's do it.
You ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's count them down from 3, 2, 1, Mob!
Hello guys, my name is Nathan. I'm the co-owner of Bar Blue in Liverpool and this year's Patron Perfectionist Global Champion. Today I'm going to be talking about why planning ahead matters and my 3-month journey into opening a bar, also known as an idiot's guide to opening your own bar. Now, straight off the bat, I will admit that I have suckered you in with a little bit of clickbait. Yes, we opened Bar Blue in a very short period of time. Within 1 month of signing the contract, we were open and operational. However, it didn't come around just like that. This is a process that has taken several years. So Mike, Harriet and I, we first talked about opening our own bar 5 years ago when I visited them in Paris. And at that point, it was a little bit of a pipe dream. 3 kids sat by the Eiffel Tower, dreaming of one day owning our own place. But we were very passionate about it. And the last sort of 2 to 3 years, we really knuckled down and started to become serious about it. I could stand here all day and talk about the important things that we found during this time. What went right, what went wrong, the amount of times that I bought expensive things during the builds and got told off because I didn't ask, even though it was my very inexpensive office setup. But for me, there are 5 key points that are integral to opening any bar and building a brand. Number 1, have a clear idea. Know what it is that you're trying to achieve and how you're going to achieve it. What's your brand? What's your design look like? Are you high volume or small and intimate? What's your drink style? Who's your target audience? And knowing these things is how you turn a space from this into this. And this process can take years, and it can change during that time, and it certainly did for us, and that's fine. But your 3 months could be around the corner, and deciding whether or not you want a chandelier when the electrician is already at the top of the ladder is not the right time. Plan ahead. Number 2, networking. Now, networking can have a bit of a bad connotation around it. It can seem like a bit of a dirty word, but it doesn't have to be an organised midday brunch with tuna sandwiches and name tags. What it can be is 5 AM outside Alibi, a Tales of the Cocktail in New Orleans with a Miller High Life in hand. And I use this as an example specifically because that's where we met Eliza from Equal Measure in Boston. And she messaged me a few days ago to say that she's coming to visit us with her mum next month in Liverpool, and we're planning an event next year. So that's networking. Making friends in the industry is networking. And competitions are networking. I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Patron Perfectionists. That's a fact. Mike and I started entering competitions about a year ago with the sole aim of meeting like-minded people expanding our own network and developing ourselves and our skills as well. And so everything that we have achieved up to this point has stemmed from that. Working with brands is networking. Know who your local and national reps are, and I can't stress this enough, ask them for things. They want to work with you, and they often have a knowledge and experience and access to things that you don't. So don't be afraid to reach out to them and ask for that help. But I will say, work with brands that you love. And aside from all of this, you can workshop drinks in the prep area of your bar as much as you like, but until you put yourself in a situation where you can get feedback, then you're never really going to be able to fully develop that skill. You can be the best bartender in the world, but until you go and showcase that, your talent can end up wasted. Number 3, and it's a big one, social media. Social media is more integral to this industry than it ever has been, and you can reach, before even opening, people that 20 years ago would have just been impossible. So that needs to be taken advantage of. But putting up a post once a week and just leaving it there is not enough. Brand, image, and personality are essential for socials. And in the lead up to opening, having a clear and cohesive design with intention behind every post is critical. Now more than ever, it's visible, seeing who's behind the bar. So take advantage of that and use that visibility and use your personality to attract engagement. And now more than ever, bars are virtual as well as physical. So if you say that you're going to open your doors in August, but you put your post up in May, then that's the day that your bar opens. People will see and judge it before the doors are actually open. So be honest and genuine, and shake yourself off, but don't be arrogant, because you have potential guests around every corner. Number 4, support. Being a bar owner is not as glamorous as we thought it might have been. We learned that pretty quickly. So you might strike lucky and have a bar in Soho that's got queues out the door every single day, but we don't. We're on the Albert Dock in Liverpool. You have to come out of your way a little bit to come and see us. So a couple of weeks ago we had a quiet Tuesday night. It was raining, it was cold, it's expected, but we had our first major panic and started asking ourselves if we made the worst decision of our lives. Is anyone ever going to come again? And by chance, one of our friends, Simon, who owns a bar in the city, shot us a message to see how we were getting on. And we talked him through how we were feeling, and he just laughed and sent us this article. He wrote this for Class Bar Mag about the ups and downs of owning a bar, and one of the quotes was, "You're never going to be busy on a rainy Tuesday night, the week before payday." That really struck home with us, made us feel much calmer, a good dose of reality, and we needed that support from Simon. And finally, but probably most importantly, passion. What does every successful business in the world have in common? Passionate people behind it with drive who care. You could have a £10 million hotel in Manhattan or a £2,000 pop-up coffee shop in Liverpool. Both could be equally successful in their own rights with passionate people behind it. And I could, as I say, carry on just giving little bits of advice that I've found. You know, play to your strengths, learn to sacrifice, don't use Sharpies on paper if you've got a quartz table, which I learned the hard way. But these are my 5 ingredients that are important and most integral for me with opening the bar. Thank you so much.
Okay, there may have been a slight delay on the timer. Really sorry about that. That was amazing. Give it up for Nathan Price, everybody. How many people in the room want to open a bar one day? Maybe send Nathan a message and he can share his slides with you and give you a little bit of the 411. 411, we say that in Canada. You know, it's the directory assistance. Nathan's your directory assistant. Our next presenter is Anna Sebastian. You have most definitely seen her face. I'm sure everybody in the room knows her. She's been in this room once before, has already told me to turn the air conditioning up on full blast so it's an ice box in here. I think this is full blast. I think this is what full blast is. But But Anna's got an incredible pedigree and so much to share. So just the same as Nathan being an expert in what it takes to open a bar in less than 3 months, so too, we have Anna, and we're graced by her expertise on how creating some of the most investing in commercial and creative spaces will give you killer bar programs around the world, and especially in hotels. So I'm going to welcome Anna to the stage now. I'm going to set up the timer with James to make sure it works. But Anna, please come up. Please, please, please. Come.
Thank you.
I saw some new people coming in. Where's our bag of goodies? We have maracas and kerchiefs, the bandanas. Wait, I'm just going to knock on the door. I want to make sure you get a
We can
full
talk to
standing
everybody
ovation.
here.
Hello? Do you have more of the... Can we bring more? Anyway, everyone will get their noisemakers. But in the meantime, you should make some noise. Make some noise for Anna Sebastian!
Thank you so much.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay, let's count down from 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everybody, and my name's Anna Sebastian, and I'm so delighted to be here today to talk to you about something I'm truly passionate about, and that is building hotel bars, beverage programs in some of the best spaces around the world. But for me, why are hotel bars important? For me, they're pillars of society. They're places that are there, not just for the moment, but they're places that are going to be there in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 135 years. If you were out and saw about the Savoy 135-year anniversary party. And I really want to start at the beginning. So in 2010, I joined the Savoy as a host. You can see the very grainy picture taken on the BlackBerry. And it was a hotel that was going to change my life and change my perspective on things. Over the years, I worked in many different hotel bars as well. This is what AI thinks my job is today, when I put it. I'm a beverage consultant around the world. I promise you, it's not always as glamorous as this. But part of what I do is I get to go and travel and work with some of the best hotel bars around the world in different places. But how do we do this? And how do we make hotel bars great? What is it? Is it the music? Is it the atmosphere? Is it the people? Is it the drinks? But more importantly, how do we take all of those things and bring them together in something that makes commercial sense, is creative, taps into that audience as well, and apart from anything, get people talking about it. Some bars here are known for their cocktails. I think one of the most famous cocktails in the world is the Singapore Sling, created in Raffles Hotel in Singapore in 1915. Lioness bars, some of you may have been to or recognise, this was very much that new generation of hotel bars, where hotel bars went from being these stuffy places that you couldn't get into or had to wear a tie, to something cool and innovative that Londoners or locals wanted to go. So how do we do this? A lot of what we do, we start from the beginning. When we work with places, we try and find out what do they want? What does success look like? Commercially, creatively as well. We also look at then research. We do a lot of anonymous reviews. We go in and we really understand what's happening in the world, what's happening in the local community, in the local area as well. And we really put all of that research together, and I think that research and that market research allows us to build on things and allows us to put together a really cohesive program as well. And this is everything from the glass that people are using. The brand partners, I would say, are really important as well. So working with amazing brands like Patron, like Bacardi, allow us to give a bit of structure to our menus. Apart from anything, it's investment into your team, into the people, into the marketing activations that you want to do. Also, this money can be broken down into marketing, retros, it could be listing fees as well. So what you have on your back bar, that is valuable as well. You can sell those spaces to brands. And I promise you that money is going to cover use for later down the line when you want to come to Athens Bar Show, or you really want to invest in a menu as well. Those connections and partnerships with your brand reps, with your brand partners are so key. And it goes back to those connections to make, this was actually, I said, what does a Paloma party look like in AI? And this is what it came up with. But when I talk about marketing activations, it's talking about planning your year. What do you want to do? What is going to benefit the business? So again, at the beginning of every year, we put together a marketing calendar. If you would like a copy, I have it on Google Sheets. Just send me a message. But we map this out, and it allows amazing people like this to do amazing things. And I always say, and everybody may know me for like my crazy ideas, but I promise you, one of these ideas at some point will stick. And so many times I've messaged our brand reps, I go, hey listen, I've got this great idea. They're like, oh no. But one of those times somebody will go, let's do it. And this is what led us to this. This was the Savoy 135-year anniversary party. And we chose these 3 bartenders because they had a story and a really authentic connection with the Savoy. And this comes back to when you are looking at these marketing activations and everything, go back to what makes sense authentically. Is there a story? Is there a narrative? Because that builds into what your bar program is. When you look at your bar, I say, what are the 4 things that you want to be known for? If you take the American bar at the Savoy as an example, the 4 things that I say, it's British, heritage, storytelling, and innovation. Those are the key things. You want that consistency. And of course, the $1 million question, how do you win awards? If you think about Take 50 Best, for example, there have only ever been 249 bars in that list, different bars, since 2009. The data shows that on average a bar stays 3 times in that list. If you want this data report, by the way, I have a copy. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to this, please let me know. But this allows you, I think all of this information allows you to strategize. And look outside what's your area, around the world, those connections, look and research, see what other people are doing. History does repeat itself, but also look about what's happening next. Look at art and theatre and fashion and music. What are people eating, drinking, talking about? This is so important. And also I will always say, set yourself up for success. That research, those collaborations, those partnerships are going to allow you to do the fun things. But get the basics right. Those templates that you create, save them in a folder that's going to be really organised, you know, because you're going to be reusing that. You're going to be doing proposals and partnerships with many other people, and having that structure is so key as well. And I think also when you're looking at building those programs as well, is who do you want to work with? Who do you want to be associated with? Those people that you meet at the bar show, you might just have a great night out with them, but they might be your next investor, they might be your next partnership that you do, and it might not be in 2 days that it happens, it might not be in a year, but it may be in 5 years, and you make those connections. And I think from a place of authenticity, it allows you to grow and develop your business as well. And we're so lucky in this industry, the fact that we're all here, we get to travel around the world. I think use inspiration from those places that people talk about, that you visit, that you see. This is a really good matrix, and I always say, work with those people that you trust over high performance. Ideally you want both, but try and find that sweet spot. And I would leave my key takeaways with you. Work with people that you trust, do your research, and find the magic of what you do. Thank you so much. That comes on so quickly, by the way.
Nailed it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you, everyone.
Wait, I didn't get to do my little horn. Like, the second best part of this session is the horn. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anna, for that. It was a beautiful presentation. Hopefully you all learned a lot. Has anyone in the room worked in a hotel or is currently working in a hotel? Remember, I can't see anything. Oh, I can see your arm. That's a long arm.
If you want to work in a hotel,
that's you.
Let me know, we're hiring.
Yeah, Anna's hiring. But again, please reach out to any of the folks here that are presenting today after today's session, or you can send a note to Mob of Mentors at Gmail. We will connect you. I'm very excited for our next presenter. Are you? You're not. You're not. I'm going to take the horn with me this time, so I screwed up last time. I kind of made a boo-boo. I was supposed to like stop and be like, Ian, do you have anything you want to say? Nathan, Anna, before we start, but I just put you right into the countdown. Do you have anything you want to say?
It's my first time, be kind, make a lot of noise.
It's everything. It's everyone's first time. Nobody comes into doing a Pecha Kucha as an expert, but you all leave experts, which is amazing, and hopefully you sort of enjoy this format. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Ian. So why blending thoughts and experience matters. Are you ready?
No. Yeah, just quickly, it's going to be blending experiences and things, but basically it's insight into my mind. So being John Malkovich was being Panda Malkovich for 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Panda Malkovich.
Yeah.
I like that. Hashtag. Okay, countdown from 3, 2, 1.
Cool, so for ideas, when I came up with a new concept, I was kind of stuck. And you know when you have a lucid dream, wake up in the middle of the night, really clear idea of what you want, fall back asleep. You wake up and you can't quite remember it. A friend taught me you could train yourself to write it down, so when you wake up you've got a memory trigger for these things. Sometimes you write in a language that doesn't exist, but sometimes you have good ideas. This dream in particular was a film about Big. And it was kind of like New Orleans inspired, so everything was childhood, but the ice creams were cocktails, the games were playing for cocktails, all this. So I was like, okay, I want to pursue the ice cream gelato aspect. So I studied University of Reading about ice cream, but your Italian friends tell you gelato is very different. So I went to Gelato University in Bologna to study here. And I thought it'd be really fun, you know, ready, steady, cook, let's get into it, make ice cream gelato. But there was a lot more classroom environment, sit down, and actually a lot of science pending. So actually from a bartender's brain, that was the catalyst for me, like, maybe there's things we can do for this with cocktails. And then also, like, as I said, that dream was also like frozen drinks, slushies. So again, talking about blending cultures, New Orleans, like Nathan just mentioned as well, I got a lot of inspiration from that. You know, all these amazing shops, these really like, you know, diabetes-inspired slushies and stuff like this. And so I wanted to really do this, but actually, all the machines you have in the UK are very crap. You know, they're very plasticky, not very good texture. And so I wanted to pursue an American one, which was Taylor's, but also Aaron Rose. And I was like, it's been like a 10-year thing trying to work out how they make the frozen Irish coffee. We're nearly there, but again, there's another inspiration for me, taking from New Orleans. If you've ever been to Hugh the Redeemer, you'll see that. But how we approach things is through Shoe Harry. So Shoe is where you learn things, theory. The Ha is where you learn things practically, do it actually in real. And then the Re is when you understand it and you can take it another direction. So it's how we always follow these principles by learning about New Orleans, all this kind of stuff, and then we can take it a different direction, just like we've done here. So again, we've learned about ice cream gelato, studied, learned, and then by chance, we did switching, and then we've had an exponential curve up with like freeze drying, freeze concentration suppression. But the reason why is because we're constantly learning. Every time we learn, it's a piece of a jigsaw puzzle, but that piece, we don't know what puzzle it's going to yet. So the more pieces we get, by chance, we're going to find that right puzzle. In this case, it was Eisbock, German beer. So we're here in Germany learning about Eisbock, and this is where they freeze the beer traditionally outside in the winter, and they take the water out. And here they concentrate it, the ABV would go up, so would the texture, so would the volume and flavour. And then this is where I live, by the way, in the freezer. I know people are not sure about that, but this is where we then took that idea and then got a freezer cold enough, -45 centigrade, to freeze spirits, where we take water out. So again, that's where we started from Italy, Germany for the beer. And we weren't looking for making a new technique, but there was just like a thought, and then we took it there. And then going back to Italy, the affogato, I absolutely love it. And I think this is the best way to make it, where you put the ice cream on the sides, pour it in the middle. Some people do a scoop, but that's not legit. This is the legit way. But we were like, how do we blend cultures? How do we do like Italian, Scottish? I think actually I've always talked about Italy being a parallel universe of Scotland. How do we put those things together? And this is where we came up with the malted affogato. So you can see the espresso coffee culture. You've got the ice cream, but this time it's coconut. But then obviously the Scottish inspiration, malted barley and Scotch, and together. You know, blending those cultures together and making something awesome. So it's basically like an espresso martini meets an affogato. And then not only are we talking about drinks, we're talking about art as well. Guys, follow this guy, really talented graffiti artist from Glasgow. So we've worked together for 10 years. I was trying to find an artist, went to my friend's art gallery, and like, who is this guy? I like his art. Got in touch, and we really got on. So we've done work with him for the past 3 bars. But you know when you have a friend, and you basically have to use words and be like, you know, or and they understand what you're talking about. These are very rare friends. You've got to hold on to them for dear life. This is the same guy as him. So we don't actually talk or email. We talk with drawings. Thankfully, I'm a little bit evolved from the stickman drawing level. But so what I'll do is I'll draw, thankfully, and he really understands my direction, and then he will make it look awesome. And actually, this is such a good way. I think I always try and time it how much back and forth we do. I think on average we do maybe 3 back and forths until we're finalised it. So it's a really great way of doing it. I wish we could just chain him into our dungeon forever and use him for every single project, but he's done big things now. He's done stuff with Oakland Athletics. But going back to the parallel universe, this is how we approach flavour. So we're seeing heat techniques, you know, boo. But anyway, so then we have all these things. We see all the goals, but then we see the parallel universe is the freezing. So we're trying to see, that's how we approach how we develop new techniques, is what are the goals? So for example, sous vide. So here, what are the goals? We have the vacuum chamber to get rid of the air, to infuse, and then you've got the water bath to marry. And again, talking about jigsaw puzzles that we didn't know the right puzzle, we're also studying about freeze expansion. Like, I was like, if a pipe bursts with ice, with metal, surely there's something here that we can harness. And then that's where we realized if we fill the keg full of the cocktail with something to infuse, and then when it expands, it's like the vacuum chamber. It gets rid of all the air and infuses into the fruit. And then when it thaws, the flavour molecules combine together, so it's marrying. So same goals, but completely different outcomes. So again, parallel universes. And then recently I was in Japan, Tokyo Confidential, Holly Graham, and I was at Yakitori, awesome. But then I was hearing the sizzling and crackling, and I was thinking, you know, if I put my finger on that, burns. If I put something on something really cold, blister, blister. Blister, blister, there's a connection here. So what we're going to do now is we're using these really cold things from Alameda called anti-griddles, so it's like basically glorified ice cream things, and we're going to try freeze grilling. We know it's going to make a difference, but it's not sure it's going to make a substantial difference. But I think hopefully you see here is about, I want to leave you with this. You have to stay very, very curious. You have to ask questions like, why is James wearing a striped t-shirt today? Why are you sitting on the stairs? Why is this floor wood? Why is this bar here? I'm not using it. You know, so you have to ask questions, be curious, and that's where you'll lead to new things. So thank you very much.
We have to make sure that everyone stands. This is important stuff, folks. Fan clubs. I'm not shaming this part of the room, but I'm shaming all of you over here. Ian. This is really tough. I think the toughest job of the day is James with the timer. And we do want to know why you chose to wear stripes today. It's sort of the question on everyone's mind. I don't know if anyone in the room practices any of the freeze techniques that Ian and his team have been bringing to the main stage recently, but we sat in a session with him in Mexico just recently where it was an hour and a half of everything to do with cold and about freezing, and it was pretty cool. So all of you, message him, message Ian, and he can give you the 411. He can give you all the information you could possibly need on freeze technique. Okay, we're pretty good for time. Like, they're going to kick us off the stage in 10 minutes, and we've got one more speaker at 6 minutes and 40 seconds. I appreciate everybody really participating, keeping the energy up. This is day one, morning of Athens Bar Show, afternoon now. So thanks for sticking with us. Last but certainly not least, we have the wonderful Caitlin Wilkes, who's the co-founder of Ada Coleman Project. She is going to take us through a program on why investing in diverse talent leads to success. This is particularly interesting and important for us, speaking in the global industry. Anna's done work on this as well. We'll celebrate her. Very important conversations about how we diversify and get more women and more diverse faces, people that look like all of us behind the bars and working in the industry. That was not my TED Talk. I was just setting you up for success.
It's perfect. I think
love you.
This is what I was like.
Love you. We're all in pursuit of the same thing.
Exactly. Before we start, I wanted to say I won't be the first, and I certainly won't be the last. So it's really hard to cover such an intense topic in 6 minutes and 40 seconds, but let's do it.
Can we turn Kate's mic up a little bit, if possible? Okay. You ready?
Okay. As I'll ever be.
James, how are you feeling with the timer? Okay. How are you all feeling?
Make it not beef. It's
very good.
The beef is too much.
So the in-between standing ovations need some work. It's okay, I'll work on my delivery, but everyone in the room has to promise they're going to get on their feet and make so much noise at the end of this last one. Correct? Okay, great. Okay, you ready? We're going to count you down. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone. For the next 6 minutes and 40 seconds, we're diving into why embracing diversity and gender diverse talent can transform your business. Take Alpha-Mico, for example, where 60% of their leadership team are women. Jean Trin notes that his trust in those women and their exceptional organizational skills is what actually drives that business. Though within hospitality, noted here as all positions mainly within hotel and tourism, only 26% of leadership roles are actually occupied by women. And this number slides down significantly when we get into our part of the industry. Sorry, I'm losing my mic. So how can we possibly change that? Well, because we do know that 43% of companies that have diverse management report higher profits. So if we put that on perspective, it's because there's better and more creative problem-solving solutions, which is sort of improved decision-making, and they challenge each other, and they help attract and maintain that talent and reduce turnover costs. So taking that to the tech industry for a minute, showing that sort of 15% of increase in profitability when having women in senior roles, this is sort of due to collaborative and transformational leadership, sort of with the ability to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to risk and prioritizing long-term thinking, and naturally women are more focused on diversity and inclusion. Back to our industry, just for one more statistic, Marriott Hotels and Resorts saw 4.7% growth in their global market share, which was driven by their DE&I programs. In the US alone, which makes up 78% of their business, 50% of their leadership team are women. So we do know that there is a direct impact on profitability when we have women in these roles. But we have to come back to our space where we do know that within sort of food and beverage operations, there is a lack of diversity and a lack of statistics. We just don't have them. So we need to work on that too. But how can we change that? There's a few things to consider. And that would be firstly starting with inclusive hiring practices. Look at your adverts, the language you're using, where are you putting them? Are you seeking out that gender diverse talent? Are you making sure your leadership team is not riddled with bias, because we all have it. It's really making sure that you're considering the hiring practices at the very start. Women often leave the industry due to a lack of mentorship and growth opportunities. So we need to establish a structure whereby growth is offered. For example, in Dubai at Mimi Cashew, the assistant bar manager started 2.5 years ago with 0 English and all hospitality, I was told. But she was mentored and supported in growing in a position which led her to be an integral part of the business. 51% of the hospitality industry are women. We definitely know that, and actually 100% of them in this photo. Keeping us in Mexico City, I would like to use the example of Handshake. There are 3 women that work in senior roles between PR, GM, and their lab manager, and they were all developed into those roles as starting as bartenders. But really, this can only happen through creating a safe and supportive work environment. Safety is essential for women to thrive in your business. So if they don't feel safe, we need to investigate this. There needs to be a zero tolerance policy on harassment, an anonymous reporting system, and making sure that there's action in those procedures. And that there's an open dialogue between everyone so they feel comfortable to speak to each other. And make sure you're encouraging that male allyship within the business as well. And elephant in the room, we need to talk about the fact that we need to pay women equally for their work as well. And this can be done by setting transparent pay scales whereby you standardize roles and salaries, have transparent promotional criteria so it's very aware where one candidate is promoted than the other, therefore this is what they do at Bar Mordecai in Canada, and have clear guidelines and understanding how service charge is distributed within your business. Also, we kind of need to make women be a little bit better at negotiating. Taking us back to Uno Mas, where they had a very interesting incentive program where they were giving £1 retro that they got from a bottle to the staff and £1 retro to the business, keeping women interested and engaged in excelling their business. Now I'm lost. You have to empower your team, and that's so important. You know, introduce women to the networks that you're a part of, making sure that you're introducing them to the conversation and teaching them and really getting them to reach out to people that inspire them. Because a 50-50 approach is what we need. And through the challenges we face in a cultural society where we teach men to be independent and women are more of a nature, sort of nurtured character, it's really important that we sort of think about the fact that, you know, we need to borrow confidence sometimes. So, Beckley Franks, I would love to borrow her confidence because she's always standing on top of the bar and with her confidence exuding outside the bar. And she says to me, you sort of need to commit to the light, meaning commit to the light inside of you and really pursue the passion that you have when it comes to learning about your craft. Or sometimes we need to sort of look for inspiration from iconic women, looking outside our industry and making sure that we can sort of borrow confidence that Clara Warner likes to tell me. In my situation, what would Taylor Swift do? Certainly not this. But we also need to understand that we can only build confidence through teaching and supporting. So to do that, we have to have very good training programs, which means when we go back to Mexico City and we talk to Eric, he says that there is a transformational, supportive program where he goes, having each person do each role, therefore they're really understanding how the business works. So it's really important that they feel supported in that way. But bring in your guests, because customer feedback is super, super important. There are many cocktail influencers that I've seen over the last couple of days. They're the ones that go outside our business, that are traveling around, sharing what we're doing in our bars. Tell them what you're up to. They're the ones that are going to help you create a community beyond your reach. Exchange information. You know, we are an industry where we really need to understand that we can learn a lot from each other, exactly like today. At Panda & Sons, they're seeking out female talent and adding that into their business. In Handshake, they're focused on developing it. And at Bar Mordecai, they're incredibly transparent on how all their payment structures go. But it's not about just who we are now, it's about who will join us tomorrow. And be the advocates who turn, if you can see it, you can be it, into action. Create inclusive and safe workspaces, help mentor and coach the women in your business, and seek out their talent. Do not leave money sitting on the table. I hope, together we can change the future.
Nailed it! I don't know that I've ever heard someone rattle off so many statistics in a Pechacucha. Well done, Caitlin Wilkes. Well done. In our last 1 minute, as we wrap, I know everyone is anxious to get to the next seminar, to get to the Tomas Estes Tequila Embassy as well. Please come and visit us at the Patron stand at number 312 of the rest of our Bacardi brands. Huge thank you to Athens Bar Show. If you have questions about anything you saw today, please send us a note.